Terra Arcanum is a world filled with wonder. From the four planes to the mysterious abyss, nearly everything has a story to tell. But to learn more about this fantastic world, we need to dive deeper than the books and the tabletop RPG. Join me as we reveal the secrets of Terra Arcanum. After the second calamity, the dragons began to experiment with magic. Like the Titans, their ability to wield the awesome power of the arcane was limited at first, and it would take many generations before the dragons discovered how to use true magic. The Titans, however, fearful of what was to come, warned the dragons of the dangers of magic. They refused to teach the dragons anything they knew, which only drove the dragons to work harder to find the secrets of this power the Titans were hiding. The Titans preached and even resorted to begging, but only a few dragons ever took heed of their pleas. Due to their lifespans and reproduction, the dragon race continued to grow at an astounding pace, and each generation there were more dragons learning magic, more dragons getting closer to unlocking its true potential. Titans turned to Gaia for guidance, but the Eternal Mother could only hang her head in pity. She had no answers for her children, no words to ease their fear. And so, several of the Titans took it upon themselves to fix this problem. They captured and killed dragons using magic, leaving their mutilated bodies as a warning to other practitioners. Still, the dragons continued to learn, continued to grow in power, and as the years went by, the world continued to evolve. The dragons began to grow 2 additional limbs out of their backs, while the Titans remained nearly the same. The loss of so many of them from the failed ritual and the following calamity had left their numbers dwindling, and even millions of years later they had only managed to reach their previous levels, while the dragons' population had reached more than 10 million, and they had succeeded in settling across the world. Then it finally happened. A dragon managed to unleash the power of true magic. The discovery rocked the world. The knowledge began to spread like wildfire, and soon dragons everywhere began attempting the feat. In a matter of years, dragons were abusing true magic just as the Titans had. The warnings from the Titans grew in urgency, and the Titans were reported to have even fallen to their knees begging for the dragons to stop. Gaia herself even beseeched the dragons to refrain from abusing the ancient power, and for the first time in millions of years, their pleas seemed to be heard. Many dragons restricted the use of true magic, and some even gave it up entirely. However, it was still not enough. Despite everything, there were still plenty of dragons unwilling to stop the use of true magic, and so again the Titans looked to Gaia. Feeling the inevitable calamity rising, Gaia gave the dragons an ultimatum. After much deliberation, the dragons' response came. Magic was a useful tool, one which the dragons intended on mastering. They would not yield the use of this power. With negotiations broken down, and a solemn look on her face, Gaia ordered the attack, and the first war began. While the Titans had many an advantage in single combat against a dragon, they were outnumbered nearly 100,000 to 1. What's more, their refusal to use magic in any of its forms left them extremely ill-prepared to face the dragons. The Titans knew from the beginning they would be unable to win this conflict, but they had decided they would rather die protecting their home than watch it be destroyed by another calamity. Over the course of the 4-month war, the Titans were again reduced to only a fraction of their starting numbers, while the dragons' population continued to rise. As the battles raged on, the weather on Terra began to behave unnaturally, and soon the anomalies from before ravaged the landscape. During the final battle of Germino Point, the world was plunged again into darkness as gas, smoke, and dirt covered the sky, dropping the temperature to unbelievable lows. The war ended that day as the Titans and dragons alike fled to their homes and families, doing everything possible to wait out this terrifying time. Until, just as before, fire rained down from the heavens, destroying nearly everything on the surface of the planet. When finally the nightmare was over, the remaining Titans and dragons emerged from their hiding places to yet another new world. Again, life slowly began to return to the planet, and this time it brought many a new contender for dominant species.